Test View window. As mentioned before, one of the windows of AMT Differential Harmonic Room is Test View. This window consists of 6 tabs of Short Test, Check Test, Search Test, Setting, Trigger, and Binary Output, where in addition to performing short, check, and search tests respectively, some other test settings are managed. Short Test tab. In this tab, first in harmonic order field, in test point section, the harmonic level that you wish to test is entered. Meanwhile, you can see that its characteristic curve is displayed in harmonic restraint view window, whose settings are entered in test object. Differential current and the proportion of the second harmonic current to the differential current are entered in terms of percentage in IDiff and IXF over IDiff fields respectively. In angle IXF over IDiff field, it is possible to specify an angle for the harmonic current. In fault type section, the fault type is selected from among single phase to earth and 3-phase faults because the transformers are either single phase or 3-phase and only these modes are tested. In details section, the nominal trip time and the maximum and minimum allowed tolerances are displayed. After performing the test, the relay performance time is displayed in T-act field. By selecting Add option, the information of this shot is added to the shot test table along with its details. The details include test evaluation, differential and harmonic current, test angle, nominal time, performance time, fault value in terms of percentage, and seconds of the minimum and maximum performance time. Also, if you wish to add a comment about any of the test points, you can use User Comment cell. Also, at the end of this page, it is possible to select test points table in different fault types. By marking one of the rows and selecting Insert option, the marked row is repeated in the table, and by selecting Remove option, the marked point is removed. By selecting Add to option, it is possible to copy the point or points selected from one of the fault types to another fault type. By selecting Remove All option, all of the test points added to the table are removed. By clicking on Sequence option, Sequence Test Points to page opens where it is possible to create these points with the same steps. By selecting Angle in a Step-on field in a Step section, the angles steps are directly added in terms of degrees. This means that the test points are specified in accordance with the origin point and in origin section in a way that the required angles are resulted in proportion with the horizon. For example, if the start and end angles are 45 and 90 degrees respectively, with 5 degrees steps and 0.3 and 2 origin points for IDiff and I-bias with 0 angle. By approving this setting, you can see that some points are added on the harmonic restraint view. For example, the last point is selected by doing the mentioned calculation. In the picture, you can see that the resulted angle is 85 and not 90 degrees, which is because the origin point is considered as one of the points and the last point of the sequence is removed. But by selecting direction, an angle is specified in angle field, and in this angle from the origin point, with the length entered in length field, and with the steps specified in a step size, some points are shot on the characteristic curve. Note that the length and steps of the points are based on nominal current. For example, if the angle is 45 degrees and the length is 2 and the step is 0.1 times, the nominal current and the origin point current and the second harmonic are 0. By approving this setting, you can see that some points are added to the characteristic curve at the angle of 45 degrees with the origin of 0. After removing all of the points by using Remove All option and adding 3 new shots to the table, the test runs and the relay performance is analyzed. If the performed test has failed points, by selecting Clear All Failed Test option, the results of these points are cleared from the table and you can test the point again by right-clicking on its row and selecting Apply Test. Check Test tab. After performing the shot test, check test and search test are performed. In check test, the upper and lower tolerances of the relay, which are displayed as dotted lines in harmonic restraint view, are tested and evaluated. To perform the check test, first it is necessary to draw some line names check line in different parts of the vector. To draw this line, first from origin section, in check line section, the start point of this line is specified in IDiff, IXF over IDiff, angle IXF over IDiff, and angle fields 1IN, 17%, 0 degree and 0 degree are entered as origin differential current. The proportion of the nth harmonic current to the differential current, the angle of the nth harmonic current, and the angle of the check line respectively. Also, 5IN is entered as the length of the check line in the cell of the length section. In harmonic order field, the harmonic level is selected so that its curve is displayed. Note that the drawn check lines must have at least one intersection with one of the characteristic curve tolerance lines. Then click on Add option to add the check line to the check test line table. Another method for drawing the check line is to hold down left click and Control key on the harmonic restraint view window and then move the cursor in the desired direction on the characteristic curve. You can see that the information on the drawn check line is displayed in check test lines table. After drawing the check line, the software evaluates the crossing place of the check line and tolerance lines as short test in accordance with the performance of the relay. Here, after performing the test, the relay does not perform in lower tolerance and performs a trip in the upper tolerance, so the result of the test is pass. Other parts of this section, such as fault type and remove all and sequence, etc., options are the same as those of short test section, which have been explained in previous videos. The only additional option in this section is copy to search. By marking any of the test lines and selecting this option, it is possible to copy the selected line in search test, and by selecting add option in search test, add this line to the search test line table. Search test tab. After performing short test and check test in AMT differential harmonic stream, it is necessary to perform search test. The purpose of this test is to find the characteristic curve lines. To perform a search test, first some lines named search line should be drawn in different parts of the vector. The method for drawing these lines is the same as the one explained for check line. To draw this line, first the start point of this line is specified in search line section, origin section. For example, in IDiff, IXF over IDiff, angle IXF over IDiff, and angle fields 1IN, 17%, 0 degree and 0 degree are entered as origin differential current. The proportion of the nth harmonic current to the differential current, the angle of the nth harmonic current, and the angle of the search line respectively. Also, 6IN is entered as the length of the check line in the cell of the length section. In harmonic order field, the harmonic level is selected so that its curve is displayed. Then click on Add option to add the search line to the search test line table. After drawing the search line, the software tests the intersection location of the search line and tolerance lines as short and evaluates them based on the relay performance. Upon running the test, by testing some points on the search line, the software starts interpreting the characteristic curve and determines its exact location. Ignore field in search interval section is used when you want the intended search line to ignore the specified characteristic curve. By entering a number in this section, some points are added on the search line with this number as the distance between them. For example, by specifying 2IN in this field, you can see that some points are added on the search line with 2IN distance from each other. By clicking on Add option, this search line is added to the search test line table. If the test runs, the points added on the search test are tested one after the other until the exact location of the relay characteristic curve is determined. This option is used when there is no characteristic to test or the characteristic that you have seems wrong. If you wish to do the same for all of the tested lines, you can use Setting tab in Ignore Nominal Characteristics section. To do this, by entering the value in search interval and selecting Apply to All option, you can apply this setting to all test lines and find the relay characteristic.